We are back with the 2016 Mets replay, game number 95. It's Logan Verrett versus Adam Conley for Miami. We are at Marlins Park in South Florida, and it's 92 degrees out. Adam Conley was 8-6 with an ERA of 3.85 in 25 starts, while Logan Verrett from Texas was 3-8 with a 5.20 ERA. And we're gonna get started right away. Here's Conley's pitch to Reyes. That's a 3-6 off Reyes' card, and a 6 is a swing and a miss. Reyes down on strikes, out number 1. Curtis Granderson. This is off Conley's card, 5-6, and that's lined base hit center field for Curtis Granderson. Cespedes, say 3-9, and that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, second strikeout for Conley, out number 2. And next is Wilmer Flores, and that's 4-8. And that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and the top half of the first is over. The Mets lead 1 on 1 hit, and we go to the bottom of the first. It's going to be Real Muto, Rojas, and Yelich. 3-7, that's a ground ball to the third baseman, Reyes. Guns it. 1 away. We're using Stratomatic Basic. Quick, easy, and fun to replay a season. 1-3, and that's popped up to the left side. Third baseman, Reyes. 2 down. And Verrett to Yelich, and that's a 6-7. It's going to be a split die base hit into the gap, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall. Hustling around second is Yelich. Here's the throw to third, and Yelich is safe under the tag with a 2-out triple. So Christian Yelich, who hit 3 triples during the 2016 season, records one here. Next is going to be Giancarlo Stanton. This is the year Stanton, I think, got hit in the face, and he batted .240 with 27 home runs and only 400 at-bats. It's a 3-8, and that's a swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes for the third out. The Marlins lead 1, and at the end of 1, no score. It's going to be the Mets leading off with Neil Walker. Neil Walker is the Mets' second baseman, batted .282. It's a 3-11, and that's a ground ball hit right at the second baseman, Dietrich. 1 away. Next is Asdrubal Cabrera. A 1-6 is a strikeout. Number 4 for Conley. And Travis d'Arnaud, 6-9, and that's a ground ball. Dietrich, out number 3. Go to the bottom of the second, no score. It's going to be Marcelo Ozuna, batted .266 with 23 home runs, 5-5. And that ball is swung on and hit deep to center field. Back goes the center fielder, Lagares, to the track, to the wall, and that's gone. Home run, Marcelo Ozuna. And Verrett wishes he had that pitch back. Dietrich now, Derek Dietrich, it's 1-0 Marlins. And it's 2-3, and that's ball 4. So Verrett visibly upset after that pitch. walks Dietrich on 4 straight. Here's Chris Johnson, the Marlins first baseman. Johnson batted .222 with 5 home runs. Say 1-5, and that's swung on into the gap, and that's going to be a single. Cutting it off quickly is Lagares, and going to third is going to be Dietrich. So runners on first and third now. For the Marlins, runners on first and third, nobody out. Adeiny Echeverria, the shortstop, the Gold Glove fielding shortstop. Here's the pitch from Verrett, 2-6. And that's a hard hit ground ball right at the third baseman. Reyes goes to second for 1, back to first. 5-4-3 double play, a run scores. 2 outs now. Coming to bat is Conley. He's got his own pitcher batting card. That's a 2-3, and that's a ground ball hit right at the second baseman Walker. Over to first for the third out. But the Marlins pick up 2 in the bottom of the second and lead it 2-0. We go to the top of the third. It's going to be Juan Lagares, the Mets center fielder, in the top of the third inning against Adam Conley. Fly ball. Center field, Ozuna. 1 down. Logan Verrett. It's a hard hit ground ball right at Echeverria. Guns it 2 away. Top of the order for the Mets now here in the top of the third. It's 2-0 Marlins. The pitch from Conley. Say 1-9, and that's a fly ball lifted to right. Giancarlo Stanton measures it, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Marlins. In the bottom of the third, it's going to be J.T. Realmuto, the catcher. One of the few teams, the Marlins are one of the few teams that actually have their catcher leading off. 2-7, and that's lined base hit for Realmuto. And there's action in the Met bullpen. Rojas, 1-5. That's a hard hit ground ball right at Cabrera. Cabrera flips to Walker, back to Flores. 6-4-3 double play. 2 away now. And Yelich. It's going to be a split die, and that's swung on and stroked deep to center field. Running back is Lagares to the track and makes a nice one-handed catch for the third out. We go to the top of the fourth, 2-0 Marlins. Yelich got a hold of that one, but Lagares ran it down. And it's Curtis Granderson. And that's a swing and a miss. Granderson down on strikes. The 5th strikeout for Conley. Cespedes next. Cespedes struck out in the first inning. That's a 1-2, and that's a fly ball deep to left field. And that's going to be Yelich, and makes the catch. 2 out. Next is Flores. Here's the pitch from Adam Conley, and that's a 6-4, and that's a hard hit ground ball at the third baseman Rojas. A 9. Rojas is a 2, and that's a ball that Rojas feels, and over to first for the third out. So 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the fourth. Giancarlo Stanton is up. Here's the pitch from Verrett, and it's a 5-8. A 5-8 is a ground ball second base. 18, second baseman is a 3, and that's booted by Walker. So Stanton on a Walker error. Say 4-4. Fly ball lifted center field. Lagares, one down, so Ozuna's out. One out, Stanton at first, and it's Dietrich. 6. And that's ball 4. So Stanton over to second, Dietrich on at first, Chris Johnson the batter. Again, there's action in the Met bullpen. That's a 6-5, and that's a strikeout for out number 2. Second strikeout for Verrett. And next is Adeiny Echevarria, who grounded into a double play in his first at bat. Here's the pitch to Echevarria, and that's 4-12 off of Verrett. That's a fly ball lifted to center field. Back goes the center field Lagares and makes the catch. So the Marlins leave 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. And we go to the top of the 5th, 2-0 Marlins. In the top of the 5th for the Mets, it's going to be Walker, Cabrera, and d'Arnaud against Adam Conley. Here's the pitch to Walker. Say 5-7, and that's ball 4. So Walker lives up to his last name. On at first. Cabrera now. Cabrera is 0 for 1. He's struck out. That's a 3-8, and that's lined base hit. And hustling around second is Walker. He makes it to third, and Cabrera's on with a single. He's 1 for 2 now. Asdrubal Cabrera, always consistent with the bat and with the glove. And it's going to be d'Arnaud, runners on first and third. In the top of the 5th inning, the Mets are down by 2, and that's a 4-3, and that's a ground ball to the first baseman. That's going to score Walker. 3 unassisted. Over to second goes Cabrera. 1 away. Tying run is on its second. And here's Juan Lagares. Lagares flied out to center field. The pitch from Conley. And it's a 2-9, and that is swing and a miss. Lagares, the 6th strikeout victim for Conley. And here in the top of the 5th, we're going to see a pinch hitter. De Aza for Logan Verrett. It's going to be Michael Conforto. So Conforto, oh no, it's going to be, excuse me. Let's see if we can track him down quickly. Here he is, Alejandro De Aza, with the tying run at second base in Cabrera and 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch to De Aza, and that's a 1-8, and that's a hard hit ground ball right at Echevarria. He's going to gun it to first and gets De Aza by a step for the 3rd out, but the Mets come up with 1. And the score now going to the bottom of the 5th is Marlins 2 and Mets 1. It's going to be Hansel Robles for the Mets here in the bottom of the 5th. On the mound, Hansel Robles, 6-4 with a 3.48 ERA. 6-4 with a 3.48 ERA in 2016. And he will be replacing Logan Verrett. And it's going to be Adam Conley leading it off. And that's a 2-6, and that's a swing and a miss. Hansel with his first strikeout. 1 away. Next is going to be Real Muto, the leadoff hitter. Real Muto batted .303 with 11 home runs. He's the catcher for the Marlins. And it's a 3-4, and that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Second strikeout for Robles. Rojas, who's 0 for 2. It's a 4-6. And that's a swing and a miss. Rojas goes down on strikes for the third out. 3 up, 3 down, and Robles comes in and strikes out the side. We go to the top of the 6th now. It's 2-1 Marlins. It's going to be the top of the order for the Mets. Jose Reyes. Here's the pitch from Conley. It's a 3-5, and that's ball 4. Ball 4. There is now action in the Marlins bullpen. It's Phelps and Bearclaw. Curtis Granderson. And that's a 2-9. And that ball is lifted deep center field, and back goes the center fielder, Ozuna, to the track, to the wall. That's gone. Curtis Granderson, 2-run shot, puts the Mets up by a score of 3-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. And out comes Don Mattingly, and that's going to be all for Conley. The Mets have taken the lead here in the top of the 6th on a 2-run home run by Curtis Granderson. And it's going to be David Phelps replacing Adam Conley. He was 7-6 with a 2.28 ERA in 87 innings pitched. Three to 2 Mets now. Nobody out in the top of the 6th. It's going to be Cespedes, Yoenis Cespedes, a 2-7, and that's lined into the gap, and that's going to be cut off quickly by Ozuna, and that keeps Cespedes at first with a single, so Cespedes is 1 for 3. Wilmer Flores the batter, and that's 5-5. That's a strikeout, Wilmer. Down on strikes. Neil Walker, 4-4, and that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 down. Cabrera next, 2 outs. Cespedes on at first. Cabrera's 1 for 2 on the day. Asdrubal has good power. Belted 23 home runs in 2016. Here's the pitch, and it's a 5-3. That's a ground ball. First baseman X. First baseman is a 4, and that's a 5. And that's down the line under Johnson's glove, and that's going to roll to the wall. They're going to wave Cespedes around. No, Cespedes is going to get the stop sign at third base. So Cabrera doubles. Cespedes is stopped at third. And with 2 outs now, it's going to be Travis d'Arnaud. It's a 5-3. And that's a ground ball again to the first baseman. And that's a 7. And that's booted. And that's going to allow Cespedes to score. So it's an E3. Cabrera goes to third. The inning gets extended. An error on Johnson. So Johnson's poor defense is really hurting the Marlins here in the top of the 6th by extending the inning and allowing Cespedes at third to come in. And it's going to be Juan Lagares now with d'Arnaud on at first. Cabrera on at third. And Lagares the batter. And that's a 2-8, and that's a pop-up to the left side. Chavarria waits for it to come down, and that's the third out. But The Mets, in the top of the sixth, come up with 1, 2, 3 huge runs and now lead it 4-2. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It's Hansel Robles against Yelich, Stanton, and Ozuna. Here's a pitch to Yelich from Robles. Say 2-2. That's a ground ball right back to Robles. He fields his position, out number 1. So the Mets scored 3 runs in the top of the sixth and regained the lead, or have taken over the lead. They've never had it. They had to claw their way back with a run in the top of the fifth and 3 runs in the top of the sixth after being down 2-0. That's a 5-6. And that's a split die lined, caught by Flores at first. 2 out. So Stanton is retired. So it was a sigh of relief when you retire Giancarlo Stanton, now a Yankee. Ozuna, Marcelo Ozuna, he homered and flied out to deep center field. He's 1 for 2. And that's a 110. And that's a split die gapper. And that's going to roll to the wall. And Ozuna is going to stop at second with a stand-up double. So the tying run is at the plate now in Dietrich, Derek Dietrich. Dietrich is a lefty hitter, so it looks like the Mets are going to bring in Blevins. Jerry Blevins, the lefty specialist for the Mets, is going to come in and face Dietrich, Derek Dietrich. So here's a pitch to Dietrich. Dietrich batted .279 with 7 home runs and 350 at-bats. That's a .211. And that's lined base hit, and around to score is Ozuna, and Dietrich is on with an RBI single. So the score now is 4-3 Marlins. Mets, rather. 4-3 Mets are up. And it's Chris Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 2. And that may be all for it is. They're going to call in Addison Reed. Addison Reed now, the righty specialist, who is 4-2 with a 1.97 ERA for the Mets, to face Johnson, Chris Johnson. And it's going to be a double switch. A double switch for the Mets. And it's going to be Rivera to catch, and Reed goes into the catcher spot. So let's pull Rivera's card real quick and drop him into the leadoff batter in the top of the 7th inning. So Mets making a lot of moves here in the bottom of the 6th. And it's Johnson now, Chris Johnson against Addison Reed. And that's a 2-6. And that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the 3rd out. So Addison Reed comes in and strikes out Chris Johnson in the bottom of the 6th. But the Marlins pick up 1. And they make it a 4-3 ball game. Down by 1 here at Marlins Park in South Florida. In the top of the 7th, it's going to be Rene Rivera, the catcher for the Mets. And that's a 5. David Phelps still in there for the Marlins. And that's going to be off Phelps, a 5-4, say catcher's card X. The catcher is a 2. That's a 20. That, I believe, is a roll again, and it is. We roll again. It's a 2 this time, and that's a dribbler out in front of the plate. To his feet is Real Muto, and makes the throw to first. Rivera is out. 1 away. Next is going to be the top of the order, Jose Reyes. It's a 2-4, and that's a fly ball lifted to center. Ozuna over, out number 2. And Curtis Granderson on 12, and that's a foul out right behind the plate, and Real Muto is there. So the top of the 7th, the Mets go down in order, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Echeverria, the pitcher spot, and Real Muto. So Addison Reed is still in there for the Mets, and that's a 5-7. 5-7 is a strikeout. Be a pinch hitter. We're going to see a pinch hitter. It's going to be Prado. Martin Prado. For the pitcher spot, Phelps. And here's the pitch to Prado. It's a 1-2. And that's lined, caught by the second baseman Walker for out number 2. So Prado for Phelps. Bottom of the 7th. Lines out. And next is going to be the top of the order. Real Muto is going to come up. Now Real Muto is 1 for 4. I'm sorry, 1 for 3 so far. Here's the pitch from Reed. Say 1-6, and that's lined base hit for Real Muto. His second hit of the day. He's 2 for 4. That's the tying run now on base. Miguel Rojas. Here's the pitch to Miguel Rojas. 5-10 off of Reed's card. It's a hard hit ground ball right at Reyes. It's an X. 14. Reyes is a 2, and that's a ball that is fielded by Reyes and guns it to first just in time to get Rojas by half a step for the 3rd out. So at the end of 7 innings of play, it's the Mets 4 and the Marlins 3. In the top of the 8th, it's going to be Cespedes, Torres, and Walker against Kyle Bearclaw. Kyle Bearclaw was 6-3 with a 2.85 ERA in 73 innings pitched. So he is definitely a quality pitcher. Here's the pitch to Cespedes. It's a 4-7. A 4-7 is a walk. Ball 4. So Cespedes is on with a walk. Next is Wilmer Flores. A 3-6. And that's popped up to the right side. Second baseman Dietrich waits for it. 1 away. Neil Walker now. 2-11. And that's a hard hit ground ball right at Echeverria. He flips to Dietrich. Back to first. 6-4-3 double play. And the Marlins are out of the inning. Go to the bottom of the 8th now. 4-3 Mets. In the bottom of the inning, we will see Antonio Bastardo. Antonio Bastardo will face Yelich, Stanton, and Ozuna. Four to three game here in the bottom of the eighth. Both my games in New York were rained out today. The Mets and the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees were in New York. The Yankees, I'm not sure where they were, but they were rained out. Or freezed out, or snowed out, whatever it is. Yelich. Because I know the Mets were, I believe the Mets were in Citi Field. Okay, it's going to be Bastardo facing Yelich. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the pitch. Say 3-8. Off the batter's card, 3-8 is line drive base hit for Yelich. Yelich on at first. Stanton now, 3-7, and that's a strikeout for Stanton. Curveball got him. One away. And Marcell Ozuna. One out. Yelich on at first. Bottom of the eighth. 4-3 Mets. 2-9. And that's a fly ball lifted to center field. Lagares on the run and makes the catch for the second out. Dietrich. Derek Dietrich is 1 for 1 today. He's walked twice. He's been on base all 3 times. Lefty versus Antonio Bastardo. And that's a 2-9. And that ball is lined into the gap. And that's going to get cut off quickly by Lagares. Over to third goes Yelich. And Dietrich is on with a single. Had that gotten by Lagares, it would have gone to the wall for at least a triple. And it's going to be Johnson now. Johnson against Bastardo. And now there's going to be a pitching change. It looks like a pitching change. It's going to be the righty Goodell. Eric Goodell is going to come in. And, wow, I don't have any colors left. Holy moly. Wait, I use blue, green, yellow, and orange. I've got red. And I have to go into my purple world, which I try to avoid. So I'm going to go into purple now. It's going to be Goodell's color. So Eric Goodell is going to come in to face the righty Chris Johnson. Goodell was 2-2 with a 4.54 ERA. The tying run is on at third base. It's first and third. Johnson at bat. Here's the pitch. It's going to be off of Goodell's card, a 6-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. Lagares is a 2, and that's a 17, and that's Lagares chasing it down, and he makes a running catch. So Lagares' Gold Glove pays off. Gold Glove winner in 2015 pays off here in the bottom of the eighth. And the Marlins strand 2, the tying run, only 90 feet away. And we go to the top of the ninth. It's 4-3 Mets. Can the Mets hold on is the question. It's going to be Bear Claw here in the top of the ninth against Cabrera Darno. I'm sorry, Cabrera, the pitcher spot, and Lagares. Here's the pitch to Cabrera. Say 3-6, and that's lined in the gap, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall, and Cabrera is going to stop at second with a stand-up double against Kyle Barraclough. Here, a leadoff double in the top of the ninth. The Mets looking for that ever so important extra run here, safety run for to increase the lead to 5-3. And it's standing at second base. Cabrera's 3 for 4 now, 2 doubles and a single. And it's going to be a pinch hitter. Looks like it's going to be James Loney. He's picking up a bat. James Loney, the everyday first baseman for the Mets, comes up. And here's the pitch from Barraclough. And that's a 6-5, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for the first out. So Loney goes down on strikes. And next is Lagares. Lagares is is 0 for 3. So Cabrera on at second, scores 4-3 Mets, top of the ninth. And Lagares 2-9, and that's a strikeout. Curveball got him. 2 out now. And it's Rene Rivera. Rivera came in a double switch as catcher, and he nubbed it in front of the plate back in the 7th inning, and Real Muto threw him out, so he's 0 for 1. And that's a 6-7, and that's ball 4 to Rivera. So Rivera walks, and that's going to bring the top of the order, Jose Reyes, who is 0 for 3. And we're going to see Fernando Rodney. Fernando Rodney is getting the call here for the Marlins. And Rodney was 2-4 with a 3.44 ERA and 25 saves. He's going to face Reyes with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. The insurance run at second base in Cabrera. Here's the pitch to Reyes from Rodney. It's off Rodney's card, a 4-8, and that's lined base hit. And they're waving Cabrera around. And we're going to see what we roll here. Here's the throw to the plate, and Cabrera's safe under the tag. RBI single for Jose Reyes. And over to third goes Rivera. 5-3 now. Mets, huge insurance run. It's going to be Curtis Granderson. Runners on first and third. Say 3-7. And that's ball 4. So bases are now loaded. And that's going to bring up Cespedes, a dangerous hitter, against Fernando Rodney. Top of the ninth. Mets lead it 5-3. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Fernando Rodney against Yoenis Cespedes. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-3, and that's actually one of the few outs that Cespedes has on the 2 column, and it's a ground ball to the shortstop, Echevarria, which steps on second for the force. to end the inning. But the Mets pick up one huge insurance run in the top of the ninth and now lead it 5-3. And in the bottom of the ninth, we're going to see the closer extraordinaire for the Mets, Juris Familia. Familia saved 51 games, was 3-4 with a 2.55 ERA and 51 saves in 2016. Injured in 2017 and back in 2018. So it's going to be Echevarria leading off. Where is Echevarria? There he is. Okay, so Echevarria is going to lead off against Juris Familia. Here's the pitch. And that's a 4-8 off Familia's card. And that's a X to the shortstop. A 19. Our shortstop is a 2. And that's an error. Cabrera boots it, allowing Echevarria to get on base and bringing the tying run to the plate in what looks like to be Kelly. Not sure exactly who that is. Let's take a quick peek at the roster for the Marlins. Kelly. That's somebody named Kelly. I don't even know who that is. Let's see if he's going to come in. He may not come in. No, he's not going to come in, but instead it's going to be Suzuki. Ichiro Suzuki. In the name of expediency, we're going to bring in Ichiro Suzuki to pinch hit for Rodney in the bottom of the ninth. Ichiro Suzuki batted .291 with 1 home run. Played about half the season. And he is going to bat in the pitcher spot. With Echevarria at first. Ichiro Suzuki versus Juris Familia. And it's going to be a 3-8. And that's a hard hit ground ball right at Cabrera. Cabrera flips over to Walker. Back to Flores. 6-4-3 double play. Barely got Suzuki at first. He can really motor down that line, but that ball was hit so hard that Suzuki just didn't have a chance to get there. So 2 out now, nobody on, and Real Muto is the last chance for the Marlins here with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth at Marlins Park in Miami in the first game of what is our July 22nd, 2016 3-game series. Here's the pitch from Familia, and it's off Familia's card, a 4-7. It's a hard hit ground ball right at Walker, and it's an X, and that's a 2, and out into right field under Walker's glove. So Real Muto keeps the Marlins' hopes alive here in the bottom of the ninth inning. So it's going to be Miguel Rojas. Miguel batted .247 with 1 home run and 200 at-bats. Now, I don't know who this Kelly character is. Let me take a look and see. Let's be fair to the Marlins here. Let's see what we got for the Marlins in such a close game. Who is that Kelly character? Kelly, pinch runner Kelly. So Suzuki, Prado pinch hit. Let's see who Kelly was. It's Don. Looks like Don Kelly. Yeah, Don Kelly played forever in the major leagues. What? He was a Pirate in 2007. He ended his career in 2016 with the Marlins. It looks like, from what I'm seeing here, crazy stats, fielding stats. Okay. All right. So 27 at bat. So he's not going to bat. He's a pinch runner. He was used as a pinch runner. Let's see who else Miami has to pinch hit, we'll look at the following game and see who they generally use to pinch hit. And they use Suzuki, they use Rojas, they used George Prado, Realmuto, Dietrich, Suzuki, Johnson, Chodia, Rojas. All right, I'm going to give one more chance. Looking up the pinch hitters that were used at this time. So far, I only see one main guy, and that's Suzuki and Prado. Oh, they have Connor Gillespie. Connor Gillespie was with this team. I don't know if he's with this team now because... Oh, there he is. No, it's not Connor. It's Cole Gillespie. Excuse me. So it's going to be Cole Gillespie batting for Rojas. So Gillespie is going to bat for Rojas. For Rojas, bottom of the ninth. And here's the pitch from Familia. 2 outs. Realmuto on at first. 5-3 Mets. Pitch from Familia to Cole Gillespie. And it's off Familia's card, a 5-8. And that's a swing and a miss. Gillespie goes down on strikes for out number 3. Game over. Familia makes it exciting. He has a way of doing that. He gets the save, and we got to figure out who gets the win here now, because Verrett only went 4 innings, so it's got to be Robles. Who is the Mets scored 3 in the top of the 6th. And that was Robles who was pitching. So Robles is going to get the win. And Familia gets the save. The Mets improve their record to 54-41. We played game number 95 of our replay. And for the Mets, it was a 2-run homer by Curtis Granderson. And then an error on the first baseman, Johnson, that allowed run number 4 to come in, which eventually was the winning run because the Mets win it by a score of 5-3. So that's all she wrote for this afternoon's game. Very, very exciting. And I can see that I'm selling lots of stuff on eBay. My phone's giving me all these messages. So that's okay. So now I'll be able to eat tomorrow and roll some more dice. All right, guys. So I'll see you in a little bit. I'm going to write up a couple more games. I'm going to finish this series with the Marlins today. 2 more games with the Marlins. And do some stats. And maybe talk about some stats a little bit. And that's about it. I'm going to add some pitchers to my stat keeping. I added Reyes. Reyes came in mid-season, so I added him, created a card for him. So I'm keeping stats, batting stats for 5 players. Hey, Gary. Keeping stats for 5 players. And now I'm going to try to do a couple of pitchers, Syndergaard and DeGrom or Matz. I can't remember who, maybe both. And Cologne. Cologne is one of my favorite players. And he's actually pitching tonight at 9. I won't be able to see it because MLB is blacked out in Texas, in San Antonio, which is a disgrace, if you ask me. Why you would keep a huge state like Texas, where you have to travel 4 and 5 hours to get to a stadium, all right, For me, it's 3.5 hours both ways to get to a stadium. Why would I ever want to go if you created no bond between myself and the team? I have to get a separate cable connection to be able to watch my local team, both my local teams. And that's mind-boggling to me, because why would I? What is the attraction for me to go to a game, go out of my way, travel 3 hours, and you're not going to see one game. You got to go for the weekend, see at least 2 games, stay in a hotel, eat out, right? Why would I go if you never give me an opportunity to connect with the players, to see who's playing, to see their abilities, to know their names, to know their histories? I mean, that's the whole key to having, being a successful franchise. If people care about the players, they're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make that trek. Why would I ever want to make a trek like that to watch a baseball game when I can go 20 minutes and watch AA for $5? I know those players as much as I know the MLB players on Texas and on the Astros. Even though I do know the Astros because, of course, they're on the World Series. But that's still, even when they were losing, it was still, you couldn't get them on TV. You got to subscribe to cable. So anyway, ridiculous. And but that's the way it is. So, hey, they think that's the proper business model. They know more than me, right? But they're not gaining my business. I don't give them my business. But instead, I fly to the East Coast, spend 20 days there to see 10 games, right? And spend money because I can watch those guys every day, and I know who they are, and I know where they've been, and I know where they're going, and I know how old they are, and I know, their stats and their abilities and their weaknesses, and that's what creates that connection, that bond. So anyway, Gary, that's my rant of the day, right? I'll see you later. The Mets win it by a score of 5-3. A very exciting ball game. The Marlins had opportunity after opportunity towards the end in the last 3 innings. The Mets saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers versus the Marlins 1, 2, 3, 4 pitchers. Right, so I had 11 pitching changes here in these modern games. It took me 52 minutes to run this game, but it is what it is. I don't know who's pitching the next game for. I may just let somebody go 8 innings. Let's see who the next 2 pitchers are for the Mets in this series. It's going to be, the next game is going to be Chen versus Mats. Chen versus Mats, and then after that, it's going to be, no, wait a second. What? That didn't make any sense at all. Hold on a second. Must have done something wrong. Chen versus Mats, 23rd, right? Oh, no, DeGrom. It's Fernandez versus DeGrom. Oh, Fernandez, number 16. Rest in peace. Oh, man, we got to do a memorial game. All right, memorial game is next. Game number 96. I'm going to start writing that up now. Game number 96 is a Fernandez memorial game. Sad. What a great player. What a great young player with so much enthusiasm, so much charisma. Jose Fernandez memorial game. All right, man, I got to get that going. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by.